Lorianne.
Hi.
So today we're going to be talking about independent eating and language development in toddlers. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say, my child won't eat that or would never eat that. And with my husband being a chef, I really do hate just that never idea. What kind of experience have you had with that?
Well, I definitely am someone who loves food and loves trying new things. And I just, from remembering growing up, that was always something that we did. We always were trying new things. But I definitely have a lot of parents that come up to me. As a teacher, I do have a lot of conversations with parents where they're automatically assuming my child will not eat that.
I wonder where that comes from.
Yeah.
We always just expected our children to take a taste of something. If they didn't like it, that was okay. They didn't necessarily have to finish it if it was something new. And we did try to find good, nutritious food that would fill that spot for them, the nutrition, vitamins kind of aspect, but that was also palatable. But I think it's been really rare that we've really found anything that they've absolutely hated and been unwilling to, try again.
Right. I think a lot of it also just comes from the way that you approach that conversation. If you're at if you're at a table and everyone has a really beautiful looking, colorful plate of food, it looks interesting. It's a point of conversation that you can point out the different foods on your plate. The way that you introduce each food, if it's positive, there's more of a chance that the child is going to say, hey, I'm definitely going to try that.
Not necessarily any reason not to, which sort of talks about our point in the beginning, which is about eating the rainbow, getting some variety into your plate. The plate, by the way, has usurped or taken the place of the pyramid recently, and I think that was a wonderful idea. It's so much easier to look at your servings, your portions, as if they were on a plate versus as if they were in a pyramid.
Exactly.
So we're looking at about, I believe, a half of the plate is fruits and vegetables, a quarter protein, and a quarter of your grains and starches.
Got it.
And obviously those quarters are smaller or larger depending on the person. And I'm sure that there's a wonderful website that we could go to for that information, which we'll definitely get out to you all. But in the meantime, I guess the most important thing is to maybe go down to the farmer's market, take a look at some fruits and vegetables you've never seen or tried before. And summertime's a great time for nice, cool eating. Maybe sit outside and have a picnic and get your child to try some new and interesting, colorful foods.
Well, another thing that would be great would be if your child came shopping with you and looked at those different fruits and vegetables right in front of them, and if you gave them kind of, playing a game, gave them free reign of, I want to try this really strange looking vegetable I've never seen before.
Maybe even choose something red, choose something orange. Okay. I remember my child also, another thing that I find sort of frustrating, I guess, at restaurants or eating in groups is when children won't eat something, they'll spit it on their plate or just say, oh, that's yucky, or it's awful, or I hate it, or something like that.
Having really extreme reactions.
Very extreme reactions. And it reminds me of when my daughter was a bit older than a toddler, but she was probably about 5 or 6, and it was the first time she'd ever tried a barbecued oyster, which admittedly is a funny looking thing. And she was surrounded by grown-ups that she didn't know very well, and she takes a taste of this oyster, and she looks at them with it still in her mouth and says, it's not bad once you get past the taste and the texture.
and then
what else is there? The air, the swallowing? I'm not sure. But I was very proud of her word choices.
Definitely.
It's a good way to say it.
And actually, that's a wonderful segue, because after this really quick break, we're going to be talking a little bit about language development and the ways that we can, talk a little bit more with our children.
So sit tight. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Rachel Schneider and I'm with the Imagination Library. I'd like to tell you about how you can receive free books once a month for your child. You can receive great books like these directly to their mailbox until they're 5 years old. All you have to do is go to your local medical provider, local library, or First 5 Mendocino to fill out a form and send it into our offices. Or, if you'd like, you can go to mindochildren.org and fill out a form online. Please sign your child up so they can start receiving free books directly in the mail.
Hi, I'm Paula Gasca with Mendocino Organics, and I'm here to talk with you about CSA, or Community Supported Agriculture. CSA, or Community Supported Agriculture, is a mutually beneficial relationship between community members and local farmers. At the beginning of the growing season, community members purchase a share of the season's harvest, and throughout the growing season, farmers then harvest and distribute directly to members their share for the week. CSA farms produce not only fresh vegetables, but also fresh fruits, sustainable meats like pork, chicken, beef, eggs, and even grain. You can find out more about CSA by visiting MendocinoLocalFood.org, and you can find a CSA farm where you can then get awesome carrots and broccoli like these.
Hi there, it's Maya and Lorianne, and we are back. We just finished talking about independent eating, and now we're going to have a little conversation about language development in toddlers. Lorianne is an educator, so I'm going to turn this over to her to get us started. What's the very most important thing?
Well, we were talking just now about, your daughter and that oyster story, which I absolutely loved. It was such a great and kind of, civil way to say, I do not like this food at all. I'm not trying it again. And I loved that, that she really came up with that and was aware of the people she was talking to.
Yes,
and at the age of 5 or 6, that's a really, really great thing. And I feel like you're totally justified in being totally proud of her.
Thank you. She'll be happy to hear that when she sees this.
And I think one thing in particular is really, there's two main points in language development that I want to talk about. One of which is the way that adults speak with children. Especially with toddlers, we don't have to use baby talk all the time. Mm-hmm. We don't have to use it because that eventually ends up encouraging our children to kind of stay in that baby talk phase. And have you experienced that at all, with your kids, with children around you?
We still have some words that we use that they're baby talk words. I'm embarrassed to say, for example, the pacifiers, we call them binkies.
Yep.
Things like that.
Yep.
But for the most part, we really tried to not buy into that. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure that it was because we were so incredibly aware that it wasn't a good idea, but more out of frustration ourselves and wanting them to be able to communicate with us mm-hmm. in a way that everybody could understand and try to avoid tantrums over and such. But I definitely do see people doing that, and I think mm-hmm. most of the time it's out of a cuteness factor.
Right.
It's so sweet when they talk like that. They're so twitchy, I do find myself doing that still with my nephews.
Yeah.
One way that I see that parents can really easily help support their children's vocabulary is the idea of reading each day for at least 20 minutes.
Absolutely.
Which can sound like a long time when you're a busy parent. But it's such a nice opportunity for transition for you as well, mm-hmm. and some good bonding time, lap time with your child, no matter what age they are, whether they're learning to read or not even at all capable of doing that yet, just to have that opportunity for them to hear your voice and listen to your words.
Definitely, whether it's, right after dinner where you're settling down, or, right before bedtime when you do end up spending quite a few minutes, transitioning into bedtime anyway. Mm-hmm. It would be the perfect opportunity to have that lap time, to have that reading time. And it does translate into a lot more comfort when that child ends up going into school, because the child is then ready, they can follow along with a book very mm-hmm. easily, they know to turn pages a specific way, and all of those different things that you think of as being ready for school.
And having a large vocabulary has been shown to be directly related mm-hmm. to outcomes in school and in the opposite of poverty.
Absolutely.
Levels. And so it's basically a good thing all around. Mm-hmm. If you would like more information about reading and the impact that you can have in a very small period of time on your child's vocabulary, you can visit us at www.raiseandshine.org or call us at 462-1233, and we'll be happy to direct you to further resources. Thanks.
Go ahead. And I think that's about all we have time for this episode. Thanks, Maya, for having me here.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for being here as well, and we're looking forward to our next visit.